We've only got 4 people on this list, so it'll be quick. And we will close out with the slam poetry of Mark McLean.
Are you
So, there's that. All right. So I'd like to welcome up a lovely person who I have not gotten to hear that much just yet. And she's here with Jonathan Baker.
Yeah!
They both traveled a pretty good distance. She's the one there without the mustache. Arizona. Arizona, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I shaved this morning.
Yes. Well, you didn't have to do that on our account.
Oh, if we were going to glorify the mustache, I couldn't upstage the mustache.
No. He's the Sam Elliott of the American West.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so got a couple of things. Stormwash. This was my first publication ever. I was pretty excited about this one, and so I felt like sharing this one. It's called Capitalism Is. Capitalism is the six-pack rings disfiguring sea turtle shells, the sludge oozing from a wastewater treatment plant, the cries and the anti-littering ad, dangerous if exposed to flavor text for garbage pail kids cards. The lingering odor mysteriously hanging over decaying Midwestern cities, known to cause cancer in lab rats in the state of California, a delicacy ravaged by raccoons nightly, unchecked wastefulness fueled by the effluent, not recyclable, renewable. If any of you not really know about it, but have heard about it, just saying, I call this magic the scattering. Are you listening? I can tell you're not. Quiet noises, shift of movement, gazes off. Am I listening? He's been talking about them for years. I still don't know what they mean. Here we go. Big number in that corner is good. Little color circles mean something, and now I'm lost. Hang on, trying to comprehend the significance of each segment of each card. Oh God, another one. Quarter number, color circles. This symbol means that it'll only work with the other card. Oh God, what did the other card do that was better, that would be good with this one? He looks at me, content to have completed his thought process, leaving me in the dust, grinning, nodding, and wiping the dirt out of my teeth. Everyone knows that guy. Okay. So this is exposed process. I wrote this one. Jonathan was biting me one night. Just gonna say that. Exposed process. Come on, let me see the back of your page. I long to see the discarded expressions deemed unworthy of your finished product. Those dirty clumps of words dashed out by lines and scribbles. Thoughts carefully, artfully, lovingly placed on paper, only to be scratched out and replaced by newer, younger, more provocative words. Tempting me to flip it over, you know that's my kink. I want to ask, why did you scratch out that line, and beg to look again? I want to watch you do it. I want to gaze upon your raw, unguarded pages, admire your boldness, switching one expression for another, questioning the deletion of another, praise each gathering and sorting of phrases. As I near the climax of your composition, my pulse quickens. I wonder, was that your original intent? You deny me, you leave me panting, wanting, and drained. This is probably the first poem that I read out loud that I actually felt like was really fun. I love this poem. I looked to my cat for inspiration. A lot of people look for inspiration in their cats, but I want my cat's ass to take me to places unknown, describe tastes, textures, and smells. I want my cat's ass to say to me, let's go on an adventure, experience nature, culture, and life. I want my cat's ass to drop acid with me, wander the wilderness of imagination, visualize clouds, fields, and oceans. I want my cat's ass to teleport me to an unknown universe, taking an energy space in the cosmos. I want my cat's ass to put on a pair of googly eyes, and entertain me the way the cats do on the internet. What does my cat's ass want to do? Lay dully on the bed, providing no inspiration at all.
Just thinking of that poor cat. Someone once slipped me acid in an Olive Garden. It was just terrible. I thought my soup was there was a sea monster in there.
There probably was.
You need to fix
I just kept. They had a red rope, and I just kept running around it.
I would never do that to my cat.
So, with that, I would like to welcome up Julianne.
And Penny. This is Penny. Hey, please. Hey. Good. Okay, I am going to no, you're not a good girl. Yeah, clearly. Do you want to go to John? Go. Let's go. She likes John better than me anyway. I'm going to open by reading this. I just got a book of poetry in my bookstore called Hush by David St. John. I don't know this particular poet, but I was flipping through it and read this poem, and his ability to create longing with a tiny little short poem just really inspired me. So it's called Alone. I go out on the porch and watch a firefly weave through the pines, lost saint, stone lantern looking for the way. The slow wheel in my chest turning, I sit at the card table and trace your hair in the blue dust of my saucer. The ribbon of moon sails on. The sun drops into this valley. The leaves on the maple lift and shiver in the morning like the thin dresses in a closet you're opening somewhere. Okay, thanks. I have some new material that I'm trying out and tweaking, so if you've heard these before, it's probably not this exact iteration. And so this first one is called Dive Bar. Drowning the first wave of heartache in Apple Crown at a bar that feels like going home in the best and worst ways. Keep worrying I'll see my stalker's face. Keep worrying I won't see yours. You've always let me drown. Orchestrated tsunamis of emotions to ensure I could not escape unscathed. And you'll never know. I won't show you this. You don't deserve my weakness, never earned my strength, faith to my core that I can survive the worst of you. I have survived worse than you. And nothing should feel like this. Thank you for showing me. Faith unearned leaves scars deeper than loyalty's rewards. Reward me with your absence. Abscond from this. Leave me something. Leave me, and keep going on your way. Leave me this. Leave me nothing. Hollow out this heart. Ring me free. Let me go. Let go and let me loose to survive you. This one is called If I Have to Ask You Once. If I have to ask you once, know I almost died trying to do it alone. If I have to ask you twice, please know I will never ask again. Deja vu never feels like prophecy, it feels like condemnation, a level of hell Dante didn't even dare to canonize, repeating moments to choose different and still choosing wrong. Invisible options don't seem fair, but I didn't make this game. The rules are as foreign to my mouth as yours. Asking for help feels like cutting open my wrists on live TV. A cry for help so vulnerable it's indecent. The simpler the request, the greater the humiliation. It shouldn't be this way. My hand should tighten enough to open these things, but my body is always running away from me, and still I have to wake each day and ask her to stand, to let me mask the pain I feel so my 4-year-old doesn't ask if it's a bad bone day. I have to beg her again to let the medication soak in so far that I forget I am in pain, even for a second. Plead with the weather not to change too many times this week so my weaknesses can better be hidden. Ask, beg, plead the same prayers every day. And I hate repeating myself. So for those of you who don't know, last October I took 47 pills and almost died. Ended up in the psych ward for 4 days, and since then, through the miracle of psychiatric medicine and family and therapy, I'm still here. I cannot describe the importance of finding the right medications and taking them. And there's this thing where the Barefoot Contessa says, like, if you don't have whatever ingredients, store-bought is fine, right? And so, like, I want to just dispel some of the myth of the Midwest about taking medicine being, like, sacrilege or weakness. If you don't have serotonin, store-bought is fine. So anyway, this poem is called Things I've Done Since I Didn't Die. Things I've done since I didn't die. Opened a bookstore. Fallen in love again. Helped a neighbor. Rescued a neighbor. Watched a tornado. Advocated for my child. Gotten my heart broken again. Confessed a dream. Built a community. Lived. Dishes. Laundry. Read to my children. Stubbed my toe. Cried. Worried. Ached. Celebrated. Laughed. Lived. Planned, grown, worked a lot, read, listened, shared, wandered, created, helped, lived. Been insecure and lived, doubted and lived, lost and lived, failed and lived, and lived, and lived. Thank you.
I've actually read his poems before, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that he's from Kansas,
Oh, cool.
but I don't know that. I can't quite recall. But, all right. So I'm not going to call you up by this name because I call people by their first name, and it's more personal to me. But I'm going to call up John Clayton.
Woo!
Donald Trump was here, I'd call him asshole.
Yeah. We have so many Johns.
Yeah, that's it.
We just have so many Johns.
Well, there's been a lot of things going on lately.
You made it, Judge.
Ken, welcome home.
Ken? That was exactly right.
Good to see you, Victor. Jonathan in Arizona.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Juliet. Caitlin. Thank you for coming to my party. I only have 2 or 3 that I want to read. Jason Mayer and I went to New Orleans recently, and we stayed. I'll give you some later, okay?
She just wants to sit by you unless you want me to call her back.
No, she's good.
Okay.
We stayed at a hotel called the Monteleone, which is an old hotel about half block off Bourbon Street, and they have a bar. It's called the Carousel Bar, and it really is a carousel. It has 25 chairs. It sits on 3,000 ball bearings. and it really does rotate. And anyway, you can't get a seat there unless you reserve it. But up on the wall, there's a picture of a woman, a flapper, and Jason and I, that morning we started drinking about 10 o'clock, so we agreed that we would each write a poem about this woman on the wall. And we would present them, and he came to my party and we presented them there. So Caitlin, you've heard this before. Okay. This is called Carousel Bar. She looks down on us as we circle the carousel lounge. Her face is expressionless. It is enigmatic, private. She definitely has an opinion about something. She watches the patrons of the carousel bar as they revolve around the room. Every 7 minutes, the drinker in every seat comes face to face with her. 3.5 minutes later, they feel her eyes on their back. She doesn't participate. She doesn't complain. She just watches. She doesn't judge. Well, this flapper may not judge, but she does have an opinion. The corners of her mouth turning down is saying something. We just have no idea what. It can't be the liquor being consumed in copious amounts. It's 1921 and Prohibition is in effect, but this is not Scranton, where most people follow the rules. It's New Orleans, where most people don't. Maybe that woman from St. Louis drinking Budweiser should know that beer at the Monteleone instead of a Sazerac cocktail or a Vauquerie is low class. It cannot be the dress. She shows only the slightest modesty. A robe hangs from her right shoulder. Her left shoulder is covered. Nothing else is covered except by shadows. I don't think she's bothered by that. Since 1949, 79 years ago, beer and denim shorts with their ass cheeks hanging out, what a disgrace. Well, 3 more revolutions and 3 more Sazerac cocktails, and I won't give a damn what she thinks.
Budweiser in New Orleans, low class.
This one is for Jonathan Baker. I stayed at Jonathan's house one night. And he has this pit bull which just scared the shit out of me. And I'm not easily scared. But I really was wishing I had a pistol when I went to bed. It's called Dangerous Females. She is a beauty. Pink skin and blue eyes. Man, does she ever make me nervous. My sense of survival tells me she would be just fine with me bleeding out while she casually ate my voice box. Yep. Just about any space is too small for me and that pit bull to enjoy at the same time. My praying mantis, Mr. Praying Mantis loses his life to perpetuate his kind. No time to savor the conquest. The Ms. Mantis bites his head off and eats it following copulation. Apparently that meets a need she has. Gives new meaning to losing your head in a relationship. Scientist claims it only happens 15% of the time. When weighing the benefit versus the risk, it doesn't seem like a bargain to me. Celibacy looks pretty attractive in the praying mantis world as I see it. It's just nature, they say. Maybe so. But what a price to pay for love and companionship. There are other examples for us to see. Take that lightning bug, for instance. All those warm summer nights, they're so beautiful in the evening absence of light. They're harmless and never sting or bite. All little kids collect them in jars to light up their room when their mom tells them to turn out that light. This, my friend, is the human point of If you're a lightning bug suitor, the situation is not so nice for you. In the lightning bug world, those lovely females are totally treacherous. They flit around, flashing their ass, using that signal to lure their heroes out of the tall grass. When she has him firmly in her grasp, she has him for dinner, in the culinary sense. I know that dogs and bugs are not people, but I think I see some similarities. Maybe they're only similar in their struggle for power. Halloween is coming. There's witches, they say. Be careful, my friends. Sometimes the price is too much to pay. And I have to do a veteran poem, and this is about my best friend in Vietnam. It's called John Clayton. He was a blue-eyed boy from Baltimore. Grew up in row houses on St. Paul Street. Smart as hell, that's for sure. He was my friend, something I'll always be proud of. He had at least 40 IQ points on me and a degree from Johns Hopkins. When he graduated, Uncle Sam sucked him and that diploma up like he was a poor kid from Baltimore. I was just too eager to even try to avoid the draft. John G. was also a better teacher. He shamed me out of some Ozark speech patterns like over yonder. But I was never able to teach him how to build a sandbag wall that didn't fall over. We shared a sleeping area that was an 8-foot metal cube, a shipping container surrounded by and covered with sandbags, no windows or natural light other than the opening for the door. He chose to bunk with me for 2 reasons. I was gone a lot, so sometimes he had privacy. And his low tolerance for stupidity made bunking with the rest of the platoon hard. I was in the country 3 or 4 months when he arrived at LZ Blackhawk, looking like he'd slept in his clothes for a week, which he probably had. However, being a sharp-dressed man was not his strong point. He didn't smoke weed or use other drugs. He wasn't a big drinker. But when it was time, he liked 12-year-old dead-breast Irish whiskey. John G. had a sense of humor, but it was as dry as Death Valley. His jokes went right over the heads of most GIs. After Vietnam, life was good until it wasn't. Parkinson's got him in 2020, and cancer's working on me. We were both in war. Neither thought we would die. That was before we knew about Agent Orange, and before we knew that Vietnam would eventually kill us after all. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and I'd like to thank everybody for sticking around. I'm just going to say again, November 16th, please be here if you can. We'll be here at 6 o'clock. We're regularly here at 6 o'clock. The only reason it was earlier today is because we had more people than usual. So we're going to just close this out with a hip-hop styling. So Mr. Mark McClain, who's going to come up here. Yes, that's what you waited for.
There won't be a slam poetry thing. I just want to share with you some thank yous, and then also plant some seeds. The thank yous are John Dorsey.
Woo!
Because if he wasn't here, we wouldn't be.
Yeah.
If he wasn't here, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So thank you, John. And taking a half step back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mark McLean. I'm the executive director of the OAC Arts Community. So this building, that's us. That's me. I also want to thank, who never gets thanked, and that's my fault, Tony Hayden is in the back. Thank you, Tony. So this live stream and all the live streams for like the last 2 years, that's his doing.
Yeah.
That's the guy in the back.
It is.
So thank you, Tony. I want to thank all of you for being here. You come from far and wide to be here. Know that you are part of this community. You've come from New York and Pittsburgh and Arizona and parts of Wisconsin and just down the road too. And I just want all of you to know that you're part of this community. It's really important to know that, because every time you come here, you'll feel that.
Yeah.
And that's honor us by doing what you do there. So I want you to sit back and feel this for a moment. This is as close to poetry as I'll get. America needs art. America needs hope. America needs poets. America needs each and every one of you. We've come out of COVID. There's a bit of America that's new. We need you to do what you do, where you do it, so America remembers art.
Yeah.
And they experience that through you.
Yeah.
So know that that's your power. Know that. Know that when you're here, you're doing that here. We get caught up in things like November 5th. That's really important. My job as an arts administrator is to look beyond those things, to participate, but then to look beyond those things, to help remind the artist, the creator, of your own worth. That's my job. And believe me, it's a hard job here in the middle of this place we call Missouri.
Yeah.
A difficult job. But I do that in solidarity with all of you. So I wanted you to take that moment and know that you are needed. That's your contribution to this American experience. With that said, we are on. Winter is upon us. Some of us hate winter. Some of us enjoy it.
Some of us love it.
Some of us love it. So,
hate relationships, bug season.
and some of us live in Texas or Arizona, and it's nicer there than it is
My
here.
name, I live in Indiana, so.
When we are in this cold winter, which is our normal seasonal change, and we kind of embrace that because the inverse is those 100 degree days. When we're there, we typically reflect, we typically write, and we get ready for when those sunny days of April return us to going outside without the jacket on. When you're there writing, when you're there doing that, when you're there creating that, my intent, the seed that I'm planting in every single one of you, is April is National Poetry Month. And my intent to finish those homes, create those homes, get those poems into a chapbook, get those poems in front of your publisher, have that product on your phone, on pieces of paper, in a chapbook, in a book, have that ready for April. Because then you'll be doing your part as the nation, hopefully, is aware that it's National Poetry Month. So that's the seeds that I'm planting in every single one of you. Finish, create, finish, get a finished product so you're ready. And then know, over the next couple months, know that the state of Missouri is becoming more of a platform for the national arts scene. We have venue hosts in this room. 5 of them here that are the state of Missouri. When you're creating this winter, we will get you in front of them so that you can get on the list for April and beyond. It's so important. I'm the audience. It's so important for you to share your work. And we are conjuring these venues in the state of Missouri so that when you're touring, you will stop here and there will be more and you will sell more books. That's what we're conjuring. So I'm planting that seed in you to know that. And National Poetry Month in April is a thing. But beyond that, adds to your career. But when you're traveling, we want people to stop here in Missouri. And all of you are from all points of America, and your networks will tell them about this place called Belle, Missouri. This place called the state of Missouri. So I'll stop talking at you. But I just wanted to plant those seeds, and I wanted to thank you for being here. And all the venues, you can call this guy. This guy knows how to get a hold of all the venues, because there's more. We're waking up a lot of the venues in the state. We want to get you as features in 25. We want to get you in front of this audience. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you do. And we look forward to seeing you again.
In a second. Go ahead.
No.
Whatever you're going to do. Now go and do it. do it or don't do it.
Never mind, it's okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is this how you play Magic together?
Yes. From what I understand.
This is why I hate Magic the Gathering. I was going to make a joke that the only one that's planting seeds in any of you is my friend Victor Cleveland. That's who planted seeds. But I was going to, he put it back away. But, so.
Hey, it's never been as uncomfortable as loneliness, man. I don't know, it's getting pretty uncomfortable back there.
So, like 2 days before we have the reading here on November 16th, November 14th, Jason Reberg and Brett Underwood and I will all be reading together at Subterranean Books in St. Louis. October was supposed to be my month to close out this year, and then Jason asked me if I could set up a reading in Subterranean, so I did. So that's going to happen. And then in January, the reason why we're just going to do an open mic is we have to go to Ogden, Utah to read with Abraham Smith. And then I will be back for an event at the Fortune Teller Bar in St. Louis. So it's going to be...
You have to go all the way out there?
For the amount of money that I'm going to get. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you have to go to work, I have to go to work.
Poetry doesn't change.
But,
For real.
Julianne,
Really weird now.
as you should, because you are weird. We're all
So
weird.
one of my goals with my story, or my store in Pacific, in addition to what we're doing with the tours and such, I think one of the things that poets miss out on, because we're not part of the mass marketed literary world, are book launch parties. And so I want to start doing them at my store like they would do for a major publication. I want to have a cocktail hour. I want to close down the shop. I want to have people do signings and readings. So if you are releasing a book this year, next year, whatever, get in contact with me. I am literally everywhere on social media, Pages in Pacific. You can also look up my author name, Julianne King. But I just think that since so many of us are self-published or indie published, that we don't get not only the recognition, because most of us aren't into that, but we don't get the celebration. Publishing a book, listen YouTube, this, okay, but publishing a book is a big deal, and it is hard work. And even if you have 650,000 books under your title, under your name, I think we should celebrate them. So please get in contact with me if that is something you are interested in. If it's not something that you're interested in, if that's not your style or whatever, I mean, that's lame, but whatever. So that's what we're doing.
See, no reason to feel weird.
Yeah, see, that makes you, if you're weird, then that makes me lame.
No, I'm weird. Like,
So it's all good, comes out in the wash.
it's all right.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm just going to say good night to everyone. Thank you for being here. This was awesome. For the people that weren't here, it's their loss. And I hope that they were glad. All right, everyone have a good night. I'm going to go eat some Mexican food. I will see you all later.
Yes, I have to run now and collect my children.